Did you know you can advertise on podcasts?
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Find out more at podvertise.com.au. That's podvertise with an s.com.au.
I guess we're live. Fire off the intro, brother.
Fortunately for them, their DJ neighbour, Matt Burgess, couldn't sleep.
My night, Jared Walsh, lovely bloke. He's been around for ages. Oh, mate, Jared, I love him. He's a great guy.
And world tennis number 3, Andy Martins, had to, Andy Murray even.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Best Team Men. Andy, why are you waving at me
Just
like
say,
that for?
no, I'm saying hello to everyone.
Oh, Little Boxco's very own Andy Martin. How are you going, mate?
Mate, boxes are going out the door. We start delivering again tomorrow.
And Jared Walsh, straight out of the latest Dark Knight Rises movie. How are you?
Yeah, I've accidentally gone full kit wanker as well, just to give you an idea. Brooklyn Nets hat, Brooklyn jersey, and I'm wearing Brooklyn shorts too.
And people say we're not a basketball podcast.
We'll get an update very soon on our charts. I'm going to take this off because, boys, let's just thank our sponsors very quickly. No, we shouldn't say very quickly. Let's thank our sponsors. Let's go through them. Con and Lena at Brighton Trophy Centre. I mean, what more can we say about you guys? We shut down in Adelaide for what feels like 300 days, and it was 3 days. And you have supported us from day one. And we don't really know how and why, but we are all for it. We love you, and thank you very much. So if you're at the back end of your sporting season now, or you're moving into a new one, into summer sport, and you need a place which does the highest quality trophies, and apparently framing as well, because they framed something for Andy's mum. What's important is you go and see Con and Lena. They are on Brighton Road. You can't miss them. They've got the big LED outside of it, and just the environment they've got there too. The people deserve your business, so get involved with them. Brighton Trophy Centre. Let's thank our other sponsors, guys.
Yeah, cool. All right, Little Boxco and Ozcast Network. Can you hear us at all, Matty?
I've had some audio troubles. Hang on.
You can't hear us now, Matty?
Not good.
Okay, so Matty can't hear anything, but that's totally fine. So the other one we wanted to talk about was Mind and Movement Physio,
yes,
which is Steve the Pirate. So they are based at Old Endeavour Drive, where Peak Conditioning is. And what he does, he doesn't just look after you physically, he also looks after you mentally too. And they all open at 12:01, and I was going to head along there at 12:01, but I don't think I'll be doing that because I'm just going to open Shifty Lizard.
Yeah, I was actually really annoyed with myself because I was going to bring home a lot of Shifty Lizard beers that we didn't drink that time back home, but I had so much gear to bring with me, no Shifty Lizard here. So all I've got is my friend again, Mr. Black Label, to help me out for this evening. And also maybe the whole family. I'm not a racist. I'm into all colours. So we've got the whole family here, depending on what happens later on tonight.
Are you saying that some of those Shifty Lizard beers, because for the people that aren't familiar, we did a booze team, men, and then Maddie and I left because we had to go do something else. I think I was employed at that stage.
Yeah.
And then Andy messages, he's like, hey guys, I've just had the rest of the Shifty Lizard beers and you drank them all, and then send us some great little voice memos. And we're also, at this stage, Andy, you and I think we're padding until Maddie tells us he can hear us. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got you now.
Yeah. Imagine we sat there for the next hour, just waiting.
You know,
He's just nodding.
I had to listen back to the other podcast because obviously when my internet dropped out the other night, I missed a little bit. So it was.
No, you did very well. So Steve the Pirate does amazing jobs. Tom Fitzgerald is watching our Facebook Live tonight. Steve does a very good job with the Port Adelaide. Well, he wrote the Port Adelaide Football Club Hockey Club, but I think what Tom means is the Port Adelaide Hockey Club, not the Port Adelaide Football Club Hockey Club. But he does Steve the Pirate. He's watching right now. Simon Ryan, shout out, mate. We love you. Josh Miller is watching. And something about Josh Miller, for people who haven't heard our podcast before. Yeah, the Mill Train. So Josh is married to Twitter and he's engaged to his fiancée. So Josh once thought he worked for Triple M because they used to read out his tweets on the air, and he called himself like the president of the Triple M Twitter Association or whatever it was. And so what we call you in the business, Josh, when it comes to radio, we call you a prize pig.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
And he's got the Powerhouse podcast, and he loves us, though, and he supports us. His name's on the plaque. But I think we're probably the best thing that happens to him each day because he gets excited about this. Steve Dalami wants to know how your back is, Matty.
Yeah, it's improving every day. That's about all I've got.
Oh, good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, Shifty Lizard, Oddsock Rob, thank you very much, guys. You are our key sponsors. Is that a plane?
If not, I'd be probably running. What country are you broadcasting from this evening?
Yeah, so
He was in a dog park before.
He was.
Jeez, I'm in my backyard and I haven't got a complaint yet. So it's a helicopter. Anyway, boys, how are we going? We need to debrief this because we did a podcast the other night on the first night of lockdown, and now we're on basically the final night. So Stephen Marshall, the Premier of South Australia, has seen that we were going to do a podcast every night until we let out of our houses. He's like, fuck that. Open them up. We can't subject them to any more of this stuff. So it's been a very strange 24 to 48 hours. Andy, how did you go with a house full of kids and then with this whole situation where everybody's just watching a live stream of the Woodville pizza joint?
Yeah, 100%. Like, it really made me hungry watching that stream.
Did they open?
No.
Well, I think they've been pried open by the public of South Australia, to be honest, and then burnt at the stake. It was very interesting. Once that press conference happened, it was like this weird. Like no one knew what was going on after that. It was like, well, what do we do now? Oh, is it midnight tonight or is it midnight Saturday night?
That's what I couldn't work out.
Yeah.
Do you know when people say like, hey mate, we're having a party next Friday, and you're like, well, is that this Friday or next Friday? Friday I'm free. Yeah, mate, that's what I mean. Next Friday. You go, what do you mean? Because I don't know.
Give us the date. Just give me the date.
Give us the date and say at 12:01 on Sunday or whatever. And it was really weird. I went for a run yesterday and it was kind of like the movie, what's the movie? Not The Day After Tomorrow, 28 Days Later. Ripley, he's drinking Cut and Dry. You remember 28 Days Later when Cillian Murphy's in it and everybody like dies of this virus and turns into zombies, and he's just walking around London empty, and I'm running around Semaphore just going, this is sick, and going for a nice run. And it was one of those weird things where you feel like you know everyone because you're out there for the same reason. So I'm running past people going, yeah, this is sick, huh? Yeah. Like nodding, like, g'day, I'm Paul Curran. Yeah, you're well. Yeah. And it reminded me of a time that I did this because I basically, whenever I used to hear an ambulance or a siren, I used to push my belly button because what that was saying was wherever the vehicle with the siren's going, they weren't going to someone that you knew. And I was at the traffic lights on North Terrace, just outside Adelaide Uni. I actually had my finger in my belly button, and so did the girl next to me. And I looked at her as I accidentally do in my creepy ways, and I was like this. Yeah. As we both got our fingers in our belly button.
Why was your finger in your belly button?
That's the thing. It says touch your belly button, and then if it's an ambulance, someone that you know is not hurt.
Oh, that's selfish.
Oh yeah.
I actually went to a party years ago, and they were all party, and it was a house party, and they were all ambos, every single one of them, and it was a Mexican party, and it was a huge night. But then I wanted to go to Electric Circus straight after, right? So I got driven in by one of the guys that is a paramedic. He was off duty, driving his civilian car, and we get into the city, and then I'm, like I say, a happy drunk, so I'm searching for content in the back of his car to talk about, and I find his paramedic high-vis jacket, right? And I didn't tell him that I had it, and he's like, all right, Andy, how you get? And then I chucked it on, it ran off, and he's like, no, you can't do that. And I'm running down Hindley Street, with this paramedic thing on, this high vis thing on, pretending I'm a paramedic, going bee-bar, and he's chasing after me. And then he stopped me and he said, it's highly legal for me to even let you touch that, let alone you wear it down Hindley Street at 1 a.m. So, yeah.
One of my mates did that at a wedding last year. We were at a wedding at a place called the Carousel in Melbourne, which is right next to Albert Park.
Yeah.
And you had a photo booth and you're supposed to put your mobile number in there. And he was blown. And the woman was like, hey, love, what's your mobile number? Put it in. He's like, my number's 000. I'm a paramedic.
Oh, no. Is that like what you've said in the past before Gabs, and you've gone, yeah, my number's 13 24 10. Give me a call if you want a track demand.
No, because I never went out to people and said, hey, I work for Nova. You should call me 13 24 10 because, I never used to promote the fact that I worked on radio because ultimately, as you realise, that no one gives a shit. That's fine. And no one cares.
But all they'd want to know as well is if you knew Lisa Fernandez or Fitzy.
Yeah, exactly. Or, hey, can you tell us how to win that prize?
My name's Matthew.
So, Matty, how are you going? How did you deal with it yesterday? Did you have a bit of anger finding out that what happened with Old Mate Pizza Joint?
No, because it doesn't really change my situation. I can't leave the house anyway.
Mm. And, I mean, Woodville is quite a fair way from Morphettvale anyway, isn't it? So it doesn't really... Yeah. You're not in the vicinity.
Do you know, I have had pizza from there, though. It was pretty good. So, not recently.
Really?
Yeah. One of my good mates lives out at Woodville, and AFL Grand Final day, we had a couple of pizzas from there.
Do you reckon they'll open up again?
Nah.
You reckon it's done?
Impossible. They even if they were allowed to, they would cop so much shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of kind of areas to what's going on here because from my perspective, right, I completely support what Stephen Marshall, Nicholas Spurrier and the police commissioner did. 100%. I'd rather do this now. As annoying as it was, it's not as bad as what happened in Victoria. And potentially, if it was what they assumed it could have been, a strain going out to heaps of people in the western suburbs and more, then let's just lock down. It's like a long weekend. But then you look and go, so old mate who was lying, I'd love to know the reasons. The reasons why he was lying. So I think that tells a big picture because everybody was saying, well, what about the pizza owner? If these interviews were confidential and the pizza owner had no idea, then I feel for him. However, if there's another side to this and there's some sort of – the cops are investigating something else, and that is very obvious because you can see in the press conferences, which I think we should talk about because they have taken another level. There's a whole other story about what's going on there to make this story bigger. But from a health point of view, I think the right thing was done.
Yeah, I think there was some info that came out today about that person and that they were on a temporary visa or something like that. He was Spanish or something, and there might have been some cash in hand sort of situation. That's why the person lied. But, you got some pizza or what? But how good have the memes been? All the memes and people posting the reviews that are happening on Google for the joint has been absolutely hilarious. I feel like Jared and you too, Matty, because you're the king of memes as well. Have you guys been getting involved with it?
Jared put one up that went really well.
Yeah, I put one up.
Oh yeah, that's the one I said. Is that the guy?
Well, that's the thing. So that was the issue that I had was the video which went viral a couple of years ago of the guy singing, Andy, you are drinking straight Scotch right now.
Party.
Yeah, we're not. Am I not in Thailand? Sorry, guys. Yeah, put them away, thanks. No massages now.
All of a sudden, you just hear this whistle in the background. Hey, where's that little bird come from? Yeah, so I put up an image of that video that went viral a couple of years ago of the African-American bloke singing Baby Why You Lying.
Yeah.
And originally I just put a still shot of him with an image of the Woodville pizza place because a lot of people thought that this person was from an Indian background or somewhere else, right? So someone put on my Facebook page, oh, is that the actual guy? Far out. And I felt crap then. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to indicate that this is what the person looks like. So I had to change that and then put the video up, which I think felt better anyway. But my wife didn't get it. And I'm like, watch the video from a couple of years ago. I think there's a lot of creative people there. Josh Miller, who's from the Electricity podcast and the Ginger Pubes Appreciation Society. He's great at memes, and you can tell, like, he's a Twitter fiend.
Well, yeah, he's just asked on the Facebook comment page to see if I was doing a ping pong show in 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then Matt Burgess commented, followed by Enema. So you're obviously really engaged in the podcast right now.
Seeing if there's any viewer questions.
Okay, so Matty, what's your view on the press conference, please? We need to discuss how some of these South Australian journalists are handling this.
I didn't watch it.
Great.
Good.
I got all my news off of the people on Facebook just expressing their disappointments. And
Yeah. Some of these journos are using this as an opportunity to hear their voice once again. And I think one of the things we need to be mindful of, it'd be very difficult being a journalist because you need to ask questions on behalf of the public. However, there's some journos who are more focused on getting their tweet out and not correcting it or deleting it because they've had 10 likes and then putting the right information. Like old mate who's like, is Christmas cancelled? Oh, what about the horse racing? That guy, in your professional opinion, and I, a dickhead. So that guy, right?
Is he a little person? Because he sounds like a little person.
He put a tweet out going, Stephen Marshall lied. And then a couple of tweets later, he's like, yeah, we got that information wrong. Stephen Marshall did not lie. So delete the tweet saying you lied then. But
yeah. Well,
we're just going to scroll through that stuff.
Well, as we found over the years working across the table from Talkback Radio, and when you worked there as well, a lot of the time, those sports journos especially, I mean, they have a lot of pressure to come up with stories every day in Adelaide, you know, so they have to sort of search and maybe do a blind search, so they start saying words and then hope for the best at the end of the sentence. And I feel like that's what's been happening lately, because there are some dumb fucking questions coming out of it. And the poor whoever's on the lectern, whether that be the police commissioner or the premier or whoever, and you could see their face like, okay, this is the dumbest fucking question I've heard today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to answer this, because if I turn around and say, listen, insert name, that is a really silly question. It's going to make him look bad, isn't it?
Yeah. So Josh says it's Andrew. I don't know how his surname's pronounced. Is it Hoff or Howe? And Glenn said that as well. Just quickly, a shout out to Glenn, right? So for those of you who don't know, Glenn is pretty much the voice of Adelaide United. He's a man with a megaphone who has led the Red Army. He didn't last season, but hopefully he's coming back. Outstanding at what he does, the best in the country. So thank you for being a part of this. I think we should do a press conference throughout this podcast. So guys, people who are watching this, any questions you have, anything, we have to answer honestly. Throw the questions, put who you want to ask and what the question is. This can be about anything. So Andy, it could be about his clubbing days. You could ask me a radio question. I will answer it honestly. You could ask Matty a question about his Fanta hat or why he's drinking Carlton Dry. Matty, why did you scull a Carlton Dry on Instagram today?
Oh, someone's brought back the Nick Nominate internet craze. So someone nominated me. And I'm a man of my. I'm a man of commitment. So I jumped in and away I went.
Is it for charity or is it just for laughs?
I think it's just for laughs.
Yeah, it's just for laughs, mate. Shout out to Grubby, who's watching from the Brighton Footy Club and the Grange Hockey Club. Johnny Retsis from the Maker and the Drinker podcast and from First Drop Wines. He's watching as well. Okay, boys, we've got a lot coming up on this podcast, and we're not in that much of a hurry, which is good. We've got more radio gold. I went through more archives today, and I've got some rippers to play for you, including I recorded Andy stuffing up, and it was hilarious.
Yes.
Oh, man, which one was that?
And I recorded it once. It was very funny. We've also got a little game with Andy, and why he started drinking early was probably going to be to his detriment. I think we should probably get into this now. Are you comfortable doing this now, Matty?
Yeah, we can do it now.
All right, introduce what we're about to do.
Okay, so we're going to do Andy's famous sporting quiz. Hold on to that drink, though. Don't finish it. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it burns.
You're going to get a live version of his drunk voice, which is great.
So anyway, I was saying, guys, you also hang out tonight.
Party.
You just see my eyes glaze over.
We're going to do a sporting quiz. Now, it's going to be multiple choice, Andy, and if you get it wrong, you have to drink.
Okay.
This is awesome. You can help him out as well if you were viewing this. Jodie Hinton has just joined. She was part of our former employer, an absolute legend too.
Yeah,
And,
Jodie's the one that paid for me to go up on stage with Hugh Sheridan.
That's
right.
And I've got something I need to talk to you about after this, Andy, and that is our experience hosting the Rundle Mall Fashion Parade. Okay,
so the fashion parade, or the fashion parade, or the Christmas stuff.
Both. We've got a lot to get through. This is an emergency podcast. Matty, over to you, my friend.
All right. First question, Andy.
Yes. Oh, is that the question? I don't know. I didn't know who that came from.
How many MMA fights has UFC star Conor McGregor lost during his career? Is it 3, 4, or 5?
I'd say 3.
I don't have a little sound thing, but have a drink. It's 4. He's going to run out.
It's just a little sip, mate.
Sorry, guys. How many questions were there?
There's 4 more.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. There's a couple of easy ones in there just to help you out.
No one hit the head. Jesus.
Okay, just so you don't feel too bad tomorrow.
Okay.
The Los Angeles Lakers and New York Knicks play which sport? Ice hockey, Aussie rules, or basketball?
I feel like just so I get loaded, I say basketball. No. Basketball.
Yes, that's correct. Give yourself a ding. In which sport do competitors refer to catching a crab? Is it rowing?
He's in Thailand, yeah.
Is it rowing,
clubbing,
fishing, or dancing?
DJing. Sorry, what were the answers again?
Rowing, fishing, or dancing?
All right, let's go with some fishing, shall we?
It's rowing.
What? Crabbing?
Yeah.
It's fucking
catching a crab is apparently a rowing term.
Oh, that's look, Andy. I'll have a sip with you for that one. That's a tough one.
Oh, he's out. He needs to answer the next 2 then, without unless he's got another bottle.
He's got, mate. Didn't you see? He's got 4 other bottles.
Why is it always so bad at the end of the bottle? So fumey.
No,
shake it up.
Anyway, what's the other one?
All right. Question.
What's the next cheapest one? I don't want to ruin my night.
Oh, question 4.
Oh, fucking blind. Sorry?
This is relevant to you. Before Andy Murray, who was the last British tennis player to win a men's single Grand Slam tournament? Was it Boris Johnson, Fred Perry, or Lewis Hamilton?
Fred Perry, sir.
Yes.
I was going to say Boris Yeltsin, but that's not what you said.
He's blind.
No. That's fine.
All right, last one. And if you don't get this, right, you have to do a whole bottle.
Fuck. Oh.
Who did Jared Crouch play SANFL for?
Nord.
And that's it. That's all. That's the 5 questions.
That is amazing. Well. Kim suggested you should be having a session out from Shifty Lizard. Yes. And we did have a lot of them. I had a couple of them. Then Andy drank the rest of them when we left Ozcast Network. If you have any questions for us, please send them through. Andy, we need to talk about the Rundle Mall Fashion Parade and Rundle Mall experience. So, Matty, you know, this time of year, there's a lot of events that happen. Throughout the year, a couple of years ago, I hosted, the Rundle Mall Fashion Parade, which was a unique experience because I'm not a good-looking guy. I don't dress well. And they're just like, mate, we'll go to Joseph Azumku, which is an experience in itself because Joe will come up to you and tell you that you look shit if he thinks you look shit. Yeah. So you're like, I reckon this is great. I look awesome. We go, no, shit, get rid of it.
They're like from a movie.
Yeah, and his treatment of I don't want to say this in a bad way, but he's quite strong-willed when it comes to treating his staff when they're running around.
Yeah, but he's an institution in Adelaide, so
quality
for us to wear like the suits. It was an amazing experience with Joe, and then we just had to stand on stage and talk in between these people walking on the catwalk, and you had to thank all of these outlets. It was a weird thing. So then Andy filled in for me, and one of my favourite parts was Andy going through all the fashion outlets. So, like, what we're supposed to go is like, yeah, big thanks to Bras and Things, to Harris Scarf, to Smoke Mart, to Calabar, and to H&M. So Andy just reading off the script is going, yeah, thanks to Bras and Things, to Harris Scarf, to Smoke Mart, and Calibre.
And everyone's looking at me like, what did he just say? And I'm like, I got no idea, guys. Is that a sport?
So yeah, we had that. And then I had to host Adelaide's Next Top Pet. So this is in between hosting.
What is that?
It is exactly what you think it is.
Exactly what you think it is. In Gawler Place, I'm there going, and now we've got Barbara. She's literally about to do the catwalk, down the catwalk. And you've got Barbara, who's got her 40-year-old cat that looks like it's about to cark it, walking down, and people go, oh, I'm going to judge that. And I'm going at the end of it. So, judges, Matt Gilbertson from Adelaide Confidential, Antimo, what did you think of Barbara? And they're sitting there going, yeah, that sounds good. That's good. So, yeah, we'll give her a 7. And I go, all right, now let's go to Nigel, who's got a lorikeet, who is hopefully not going to shit on you. Then you hear someone in the background go, ha, ha, ha.
Well, I was going to say, between you and Hans, was there anything, how do I say this lightly, pussy-related jokes when the cats came out?
I say this lightly. Whack.
There has to have been.
It was very weird, and that led us to Christmas, where Andy and I shared the load of one of the most unique experiences. Andy, do you want to take it from here, because it was strange?
Yeah, and it was going with the whole uniquely Rundle Mall marketing campaign they were running with at the time as well, so that worked out well. So what we had to do is it was a Friday night, wasn't it, Jared? Yes. Friday night over, the month of December. And what they were doing is they were playing Christmas movies in Rundle Mall for free for people who wanted to be there. There was it was in Gawler Place, that canopy sort of area.
Like in National Lampoon sort of stuff, or are we talking like Miracle on 34th Street, Tame sort of stuff?
I'll just say it would be pretty family orientated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe Naughty Christmas Nurses or something like that.
So Bad Santa wasn't on there.
Yeah.
Santa's coming on everyone.
Yeah, 2 girls, 1 Christmas cup. All those ones. So, but every time we did it, there was no one there, or if there was anyone there was like 4 people.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
And the lead up was like, now, guys, we've got a voucher to give away, and to keep you occupied, if you want to play Jenga, we've got 5 Jenga setups there, and we're like, there's 4 people. So what about the one that doesn't get a Jenga to themselves?
Yeah, and it was one of those gigs where the sound guy goes, all right, mate, you're on in 10. I'll be back in 3 hours. And you're like, all right, I guess I got to do all the audio then as well. Okay.
Yeah.
And here's all the scripts, but can you rewrite them for yourself? All right, cool. For 4 people.
Yeah, it was. We used to get them all the time when we worked at the radio station, as we said in one of our previous episodes on Ozcast, where we were told, "No, mate, this is really good for your career. This is good for branding. This is good for promotion. You're not going to get paid for it, but you know what? The exposure is going to be great." Then afterwards, you go, "Hey, you know that exposure you were talking about? I could have had dinner at home with my family, and there would have been more people around the dinner table than that exposure out there with people who literally lived in Rundle Mall of a night time. So I'm not really sure."
Are you going to pay me this exposure all at once or in installments? Or?
Yeah, and Andy still hasn't got his beer.
No, still waiting. So happy days.
Are you 2 cartons?
Quick side question, just for my next drink, right? So I got this Johnny Walker collection thing going on here, right? I've drunk the Black Label because I think that was the base out of the 4 that were here. I've got Black, Gold, Blue, and Pure Highland Malt. What's the next one? The Pure Highland Malt, is that the max out one?
I think Blue's like top of the range, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. What should I do next then?
Anyone listening?
Oh, man, Andy, your fiancée, Yasmin, is just commented saying, "Hey, that's mine."
Yeah. What's mine is yours. Is that what they say?
Come on in and steal it, Jazz.
Okay, so let's play some radio audio. if you do have any questions you want to ask us, ask anything. We will answer your questions. Matty, go get a beer. And this is the thing, like, we want this to be kind of like a booze team in too, because, here we go. People are saying, Andy, Glenn says, gold is good. Harrington Potato Son says gold, then blue for base range.
Where's he from?
I don't know, but it's like, hey, what do you want for dinner, Dad? Well, I want a Harrington Potato Son.
That's awesome.
Harrington, I don't want to laugh at your name. And I don't think it's a good thing if we do. So we just need confirmation if your surname is actually Potato Son.
Yeah.
Can you please confirm Harrington Potato Son is your full name?
And now we wait.
Sean says leave gold till last. A lot of people want to hear this radio stuff because to give you a bit of backstory on some of this radio stuff, we had someone who left our company, right? And to put it politely, they left and there wasn't much spoken about it. And what happened, he then said, I'm going to release a podcast and explain everything that has happened at the radio station. And the radio station freaked out. They're like going, you cannot have a podcast. You cannot do this, because people get worried that once someone leaves a radio station, they're just going to unleash and reveal all the secrets, kind of like we did last episode. And pretty much just go, this is what really goes on. Because there's a lot of that stuff, right? Also, wait a sec. His name is actually Potato Son.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
Oh.
No.
So why has he called himself Potato Son?
I can't answer that.
So do you know Harrington Potato Son?
I do know him, yes.
Yeah. Is that the same guy who asked if we've had asparagus?
No.
You associate with some real weird units, Matty.
Interesting characters, aren't they?
Yeah, that's totally fine. Okay, so let's get to some radio stuff. The first one I sent to you, Annie, it's number 1 on the list. So I used to work on a show, which was the National Drive show back in 2008. I worked with Akmal Saleh and Cal Wilson, and then Ed Cavalier joined, and it was it was a learning experience. Any questions on that before we move on, boys?
Yeah. What do you mean by Ed Cavalier being interesting?
It was an interesting experience because I originally joined the show in 2008, and we moved to Melbourne, and the show was the Akmal and Cal show, and I was going to be the anchor of the show and have a bit of a role on the show, which was awesome. Moved my whole family over there. Then Cal went on her honeymoon, and Ed Cavalier came in to fill in. And then they kept him on the show. And then it was just an experience of working with strong personalities, and I wasn't on the show for much longer, which, mate, I was 24. I was quite immature, and I completely understand why I wasn't on the show. Matt, you got a question in the back here. Yeah, Matty Mo Fanta hat, yeah.
That's 3 quite different personalities, isn't it, as well, that you're having to juggle there?
Oh, my mate, I've worked on shows right up until this year where I've worked with every personality that you can think of, and it makes you grateful for the personality that you hopefully have.
I feel like that you need some sort of insurance payout for the mental health issues that came out of working with all those personalities over those years.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I said in the description to this when I shared it on social media, I'm like, my wife said this podcast is the most me she's heard because I don't have the restrictions, and we're very we're actually very smart with this podcast. I'm not trying to bloody pump ourselves up, but we don't say anything that can get us into trouble. Like, we don't defame people. We hardly swear, all that kind of stuff. So we understand that there are guidelines and stay in that area. However, I'm allowed to have a personality here and not, mate, you just, this is what I got. Mate, you just stay in your lane, all right? You just stay in your lane and just keep the other guys happy and things will work out, mate. Your name will be up in lights. Well, if by lights you mean sitting on my back porch with no lights and I was made redundant, then you are spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, should we play this bit of audio or what?
Yeah, so this is what happened every day. I'm working with Akmal and Cal. This is one of our first shows, and I was taken into the team, and I'm supposed to basically keep them into line. This is the start of one of the shows I found today, where what I'm supposed to do is give an introduction. The guys would let it breathe. I would do the talking. They wouldn't interrupt me. But Akmal, if you had something in front of you, Akmal would go, I'm going to try and find a way to destroy it. Akmal was lovely to me, by the way. Akmal was one of the nicest people I've ever worked with, and I don't have a bad thing to say about the person that he is at all. Have a listen.
And if you think this show was big yesterday or the day before or a couple of weeks ago...
Yes, no one thought that. No one. I don't know anyone. People say, I wish you had
You've interrupted his flow.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear what we would think today.
Let's start
if we thought
again.
It was big.
Start again.
The Akmal and Cal
Cal
show.
Show.
The wrong way home.
Oh.
And if you thought this show was big yesterday or the day before
No
a
one
couple
thought it was big. I'm sorry, Jared.
How are you, Akmal?
I'm very good. What do we got installed for us?
I don't know. I was just trying to think of something different to say.
Are we going to do a science experiment today? I'm very excited.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're not geeky at all, Cal.
Not at all.
No.
No, she's not geeky.
She's not geeky. She's cool. And her mum thinks she's cool. And so all that matters.
That's it.
Yes, we will be back.
It was actually like the National Drive show.
Who's doing that? Is it you, Maddie?
That's not me.
Oh God, that sounds awful.
That's Maddie. That is Maddie. That's your mic or something.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? Oh my gosh! Stop talking, Maddie, please.
Maddie, something's going on with your audio.
Yeah, I think it sounds like one of your cables is knackered. Oh, it's a remix. Sweet as.
What's going on?
Yes, yeah, World War One. We're on the way. Yes.
Maddie, this is horrible.
Yeah, sounds great, mate. Maddie's out of here.
You have a horrible time on the radio.
Off the back. Sorry,
you go.
No, I was going to say off the back of the audio, it sounded like was that pre-recorded, or was that what went live?
No, that was live, mate. So that was the feed going through. After the end of the show, we'd take the feed that went here. Ryan Hunter is watching. Ryan Hunter? Is amazing.
Boy. Oh, Maddie, come on, buddy. Matt,
something is going on.
Something is wrecked, son.
Oh! Try now, Matt.
Anyway, if you want to hear the remix of that song, Fresh to Death on SoundCloud.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, cool.
Oh, good. Sounds like you're in a bloody...
What just happened then?
Fish tank.
I don't know. I just turned my microphone off.
Oh, I think you're reverbing heaps now. There's echo in your area. Oh, God.
This is a disaster.
Oh, no, that's better. You're right now.
I'm all right.
Yeah, you're okay. So Ryan Hunter is watching. Ryan is someone that we used to work with at the radio station, who's a legend. A couple of things. Ryan is the only Hunter, his family, left in Sri Lanka. True story. He's got an incredible family. He's a disgusting Crows supporter, and he thinks that the AFL Grand Final should be moved around all the time, and he hates the MCG, which is a bit weird. So that's fine. But we appreciate his support. Okay, Andy, let's go into audio number 2, which is, I've got a photo of it, so hold on. I'll just tell you the list that I've got here. Audio number 2, Andy. This is great. So this is, Maddie, when, remember, I had my testy pop at Adelaide Oval when I said Adelaide United in the grand final. I recorded Andy on voice memo while listening to the radio trying to say Justin Bieber. See if you can pick up where his voice breaks.
Say sorry, which is a perfect segue for his fresh hit here. Justin Bieber, you know.
Hey guys, who guys want to go see Justin Bieber tonight?
Justin Bieber.
So, we said, Andy, remember a couple of rounds ago, we said Andy Martin is the segue king. He can go, oh, you're in lockdown. And speaking of lockdown, here's Kanye West with Love Lockdown on Nova. So have a listen to the start of this again. You can hear Andy's fresh from a segue into a testy pop.
Say sorry, which is a perfect segue for his fresh hit here. Justin Bieber, you know. Say sorry.
You know why I started laughing? Not just because of the old testy pop that happened there during Justin, but because I knew that Jared would have been listening, and I'd even said the word segue. So I knew it was going down. What
normally happened whenever we stuffed up on the radio, Andy, I'd be in the studio and I'd stuff up, and then I'd hear Andy go, "Yeah, boy!"
I'd PA him into his studio, and then I'd grab it. And we used to have a hotkey page, which is like a page on the computer that can press buttons, and then all of a sudden it plays sound, right? Yeah. Sound effects and stuff usually have it. And what we usually do is any stuff ups or funny things that we'd hear. And it would only be internal. We'd never actually end up playing it on air. We'd have it on this hotkey page. So if I walked in the studio or if Jared walked in the studio, we'd play these hotkeys. It was amazing. From the testy pops to, I don't know, farts on air, stuff like that.
Yep. Now, Maddie, from a listener's point of view, can you tell whether someone is broadcasting from the city they pretend they live in?
I haven't given it a lot of listen, but I reckon it would be pretty easy to say no.
Okay, so Andy, just give us a quick example of the Glenelg Beach, maybe you are, maybe you aren't, if people are tuning in for the very first time. So last year, there was a radio station in Adelaide that had someone in Melbourne pretending they were in Adelaide, and I think in Sydney at the same time. And, local radio stations, they need to be as local as possible. This is an example. Andy does the best impression of this.
Yeah, g'day guys, Nova 919 here, Melbourne's hottest hits. So we're going around Adelaide at the moment. Mate, if you may be down at Glenelg at the moment, or maybe you're not. That's because I'm not there.
Sometimes the wrong traffic would play and it's like, yeah, g'day, just checking the roads around town. Now, if you think it's hot in the city, it's even hotter in the west right now. Try to get to where anyway, it's Adelaide's Cruise on Nova.
Yeah, good old ATN. They used to do that all the time. You'd always hear like SAFM news on Mix and stuff like that. Oh, so traffic on Mix and stuff. It was crazy because they all do it from the one studio. They just have scripts that they write, upload, and forward on. So things are always getting mixed up there.
It's pretty funny when they try and announce the different roads and stuff like that. I remember hearing once there was a traffic jam at Pantatalinga.
Yeah.
Road.
Like the Barton's always a big one.
The Barton,
I always love a good old Gouger Street.
Gouger Street, that's a good one.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So we've gone through this more so recently. For the past couple of years, a particular radio station in Adelaide has got announcers from different parts of Australia pretending they are in Adelaide. And that's one of the reasons that I'm not there anymore, because there's someone in Melbourne pretending they're in Adelaide. And on breakfast for the past couple of years when I worked with Dylan Lewis, he was in Melbourne. And it was like we could never have video guests in the studio or anything like that because we needed to keep up the illusion that Dylan was in Adelaide.
Yeah, the same thing's happening now with Limo and SAFM. He's in Melbourne.
Limo is in Melbourne. So the other day he literally said, like he was doing stand-up, I took my family to a local playground the other day. I mean, if you are in Adelaide, you would say, I took my family to Seacliff Playground or something like that. They're trying to go, no, we are in Adelaide all the time. We are local. But listeners aren't dumb. And there's a perception from the inside that listeners may go, oh, they are so in Adelaide. Oh, where's Dylan today? Oh, Dylan had to head off early, but it's 6:30 and he's on my radio. Oh, yeah, but he had to. Anyway, look, there's a shiny thing over there. Do you want a Justin Bieber CD? Other radio stations picked up on the fact that Dylan wasn't in Adelaide, and it became a running joke for them. So when Amos, Kat and Angus were on the radio, they had a little bit of ambush broadcasting and decided just to make it public, please.
Harry Potter. Actually, a part of my soul actually lives in one of the microphones in the studio, and my body can be over here.
We can call on it at any point.
No, it's just a really, really expensive Skype, isn't it? What we do.
It is. Yep. I'd hate to see Nova's bill.
Oh, that'd be through the roof, wouldn't it? Because he doesn't live there.
All right, guys, let's get into it next.
Yes, so they would have a fair crack just going, whoa. But then we would go, oh, did you hear what SAFM said this morning? They said that Dylan doesn't live in Adelaide. And we wanted to go, yeah, but he doesn't.
You can't defend that.
Yeah, I think originally it was all about trying to cover it up and move forward and pretend he was in Adelaide. But then it got to the point, I think, when the questions were getting asked, we're like, well, we just won't say he's not here.
Yeah.
And just, not make it public that he isn't here and just continue on. Like, doesn't really matter if it's not going to hurt the content or, have a reason why he's not there. Well, then happy days.
Was he here at all? Because obviously there was some promo stuff where you see them, you guys used to go to schools or the show or something like that, and he was there.
He would fly in. If it was a Friday, he'd fly in like last flight in Thursday, first flight out Friday.
Right.
Just in and out straight away. And then Fridays were difficult as well because Hayley didn't work Fridays, but they wanted a Hayley presence. So it was basically pre-recorded on a Friday. I'd just anchor the breaks.
Yeah, or best of bits.
Best of bits just chucked in just to go, no, she works. And I actually suggested, this is one of the things that I suggested at the start of last year. I said, why don't we embrace the fact she doesn't work Friday? And just go, you know what? She's a working mum. She doesn't work Fridays. So we're going to find – the idea was let's find a guest on every Friday. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get Matt Preston. We might even get Ed Sheeran on to co-host.
Guy Sebastian.
It was like Hush. It was like, it could be Grant Smiley,
but everyone wears a ski mask.
Jared Walsh every time. Okay, so the next bit of audio we've got, and we've got a fair few here. Okay, this is a bit of an inappropriate one. So if you've got kids, block their ears. This is another dump button thing, and I managed to get this audio from another radio station in Adelaide. Let's not name names, please. Let's be very careful about this. Someone got into trouble at an Adelaide radio station a little while ago because they were talking about certain things in regards to the human body. And what I'm about to play actually went to air in a pre-recorded segment that they forgot to cut out or dump. Andy, go for it.
Is that your remedy?
What's your pressure point?
Me?
Yeah. No, what do you tip? Give me a tip.
Just fuck the guts out of him with a big cock. Dom, you know what his pressure point is? Nah. It's in a...
Yep. Can you imagine...
no words.
Obviously, stuff like this has happened plenty of times over the years. We'll talk about another one that happened last year, probably in the future if we don't get sued. But can you imagine the point because that was pre-recorded, right? That was pre-recorded, right? So what would happen is they would pre-record, then it would go to the production person, and then they would cut it up ready for air, right? So they would be responsible with how it goes to air. And what's happened there is the production person's especially over there, there's a lot of pressure on production to make things amazing, and they will do things 10 times over to make one thing to get it to air perfect, right? I can understand the sort of situation the production person was in. He's just literally not listen through the whole thing, put it to air, happy days. But can you imagine when you're driving somewhere in the car and you're one of those talents or you're the bosses or the managers or anyone that works at that station and you hear that, the amount of, what would be the emotion?
I reckon whoever was responsible for removing that would have had those guts falls through your ass moments.
Oh, yeah.
Or kind of like you when you had your enema.
Yeah,
exactly.
True.
Yeah,
very true. Or me when I had that Korean.
Like in Thailand.
Korean
what was
food.
His name?
Cheers, boys.
Okay, so
what's that?
Oh, it's just water. Because last time we recorded, I spilled water all over my Pro Tools keyboard, and now it has to go in the bin. So,
we've got a question now, Josh. Is this a legitimate question? Because we did say we are going to answer any questions which have been thrown to us. So your question is, was someone justified to be suspended? Is that a legitimate question you want our professional opinion on, or are you trying to be a smartass? Right back as we continue the audio grabs. Okay, Matty, go.
Con had a question too. Why has Andy stopped drinking? That's pretty legitimate.
Great question.
Oh, Yas told me it was her alcohol, so I've stopped drinking it for the moment until she goes to bed.
The next bit of audio we've got to play for you. A lot of people are really loving the radio gold. That's why we're going through all the archives. So all of the journos and the media people, what they do around this time when it comes to the AFL draft, what they normally do is they will predict draft choices, right? So they will go, you know what, mate, I reckon this guy's going at number 1, this guy's going at number 2. I am on this radio station because I am an expert and I've got this right. You just listen to us for late breaking news. You don't have to listen anywhere else. # my name is Tom Brown. Okay?
You love Tom Brown, don't you?
Well, yeah. So I want to play you a bit of audio from Graham Corns when Graham Corns carries himself in kind of a way where he's lovely. He's very nice to me. He sent me a very nice message after I lost my gig, which I'm very grateful for. But this was very funny when they had draft night and him and Rowie were going, we're going to predict this. We're going to tell you who's been drafted. Here's the before and after.
For all of that, we'll have Darren Buff-Leeman on the first test at the Gabba. AFL talent manager Mike Sheen.
Bear in mind the next pick will be for Port Adelaide. We think it'll be Kane Lucas. Here we go.
Port Adelaide, Andrew Moore, Eastern Rangers.
Andrew Moore, bit of a surprise.
Pick one.
Oh, I haven't seen enough of young Scully, but from what I've seen of Trengove, he would easily be my number 1.
Jack Trengove, number 1.
It's so easy to do that, like just to go, no, I think it's going to be this person. Can you please play that again? Because it's just so funny that they've gone straight from, I reckon it's going to be this guy, and it's not.
For all of that, we'll have Darren Buff-Leeman on the first test at the Gabba. AFL talent manager Mike Sheen.
Bear in mind the next pick will be for Port Adelaide. We think it'll be Kane Lucas. Here we go.
Port Adelaide, Andrew Moore, Eastern Rangers.
Andrew Moore, bit of a surprise.
I love how Cornsey just goes, yeah, I haven't seen enough of the other guys, so it's a bit hard to say.
Exactly. Josh Miller asked if the thing we played earlier was pre-recorded. Is it at him or the person editing? I think you always treat your microphone like it's live. Like if I did something silly with Andy, I'd go into the studio and we'd save it on something different. We wouldn't save it on the work computer or anything like that. Always treat it like you are live. And it's so funny because so many people would come into the studio and they would have D&Ms with you talking about the business and stuff. And you go, there are 5 microphones here, which are normally recording most of the stuff that you are saying. So, I think it's on both. Like, I think it's on the announcer and the person editing to miss it. However, the person editing it can't take the fall because someone set it into the microphone. So don't put that pressure on them.
Yeah, usually it's it's everyone gets in trouble, but it's the last person before it goes to air. So that could even be the panel operator. That could be the producer. Like, everyone has their own responsibility of that, but definitely the person that said it in the first place should get reamed.
Exactly. And speaking of getting reamed, this is what happens when you have a button that doesn't work at the radio station. Now, guys, remember a little while ago I played you a bit of audio of an overnights announcer at 5AA, and he used to get text messages saying, mate, most of us have clocks by now. You don't have to tell us the time every time you open your mouth. Yeah, well, this is the same guy who got into a bit of trouble last year, I think, for having some views which aligned with a white supremacist, allegedly. And this is what happens when he got angry. Keeping in mind, people are doing overnights. They don't have anyone to talk to. Sometimes this person, I was told, would get a caller on the line and they would start telling their life story, and the announcer knew that they were a long talker. And what they would do was go, yeah, just tell me about it. Turn the fader up, go to the toilet, come back, put the headphones on and go, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I did 3 shifts like that. It was amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
On Nova.
I did that.
So have a listen very closely to what happens when his button doesn't work. He needs to go to the news.
Now, Dave Potter Honda.
Oh, fuck it. Just go. Go.
6 o'clock on 5AA. Very.
Oh, man.
Fuck it. Just go.
We need to play that again, please, Andy.
All right.
Now, Dave Potter Honda.
Oh, fuck it. Just go. Go.
6 o'clock on 5AA. Very.
How good was the newsreader, Anne Stone, though? Like, fully professional, just knew that she had to do the thing, take care of the station.
Yeah, exactly. She did very well. I've got 2 more to play for you, and this...
I just love how you hijacked everyone in radio, all their fuck-ups. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah, but I do fuck-ups as well, and we've never been in a position to... See, we like... I need a cough, hold on.
Yeah, that didn't actually work. You putting the hand over it, just a heads up.
It sounded actually louder.
Is that pizza here yet from Woodville? You got it? Yeah, so I love now listening to the radio for those mistakes because I think being in the industry for so long, it's great to have a laugh. Finally, you can have a laugh about it and just enjoy just laughing with people because there's so many of them. This is the same. Oh, Sam Tugwell is watching from the Press Box app.
Tugwell is here.
Excuse me.
Jesus.
Okay, this one we're going to play for you is the same. Oh, my God. What I'm going to play for you right now is this is a journey, okay? This one is a journey where I listened to this and I thought when I heard it for the first time, okay, you've just stuffed up the weather. But following that, there is a line that this was said on radio that you will need to hear again. Andy, just play it, mate. Enjoy.
At Lofty's 5 degrees, Noarlunga 8.6. Sorry, no, it's not at 6.6. Nuruyupa is minus 0.7. So minus 0.7. No, it's not. Am I getting to the age where I need glasses? Oh, no, I'm starting to get this starting to happen to me where I'm having trouble reading smaller things. Oh, don't tell me it's true. All those stories about masturbation are true. No, I shouldn't say that. I'm only joking. G'day, Santo. How are you?
Good morning.
G'day, mate. Next caller. Oh, my God. What time in the morning did you hear that?
I think it's 11 o'clock in the morning. Can you please play it again?
Yeah, sure.
At Lofty's 5 degrees, Noarlunga 8.6. Sorry, no, it's not at 6.6. Nuruyupa is minus 0.7. So minus 0.7. No, it's not. Am I getting to the age where I need glasses? Oh, no, I'm starting to get this starting to happen to me where I'm having trouble reading smaller things. Oh, don't tell me it's true. All those stories about masturbation are true. No, I shouldn't say that. I'm only joking. G'day, Santo. How are you?
Good morning.
Santo's like...
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, speaking of masturbation, let's go to the fish prices.
Yeah, hopefully they don't pull you off the air. No, doing enough of that myself, mate. So, okay. Hold on one sec. Hey, Gabby, can you just turn that light on, please?
We've got a couple of questions here.
Okay,
speaking of wives, hang on, side question. Speaking of wives, Yaz has just asked about the beauty one. Have we got audio of that?
No, I don't have audio of that.
And legally, we probably shouldn't.
Yeah, at this point in time, legally, we can't play this audio. We'll wait till the kind of the
dust settles.
Yeah, the dust or court case settles, then we can talk more about what happened earlier. Yeah, it doesn't matter, but you know what I mean.
All right, next caller, Santo. We've got some questions from online.
Yeah, so how are you pressing the buttons and holding onto the microphone when you're absolutely holding your bloody Barry Salami?
Well, Santo, they're all stuck together. That's what's happening. They're all stuck together.
Okay, so what are the questions, Matty?
So Harrington Peterson, Aston Villa will go top tonight, and Jack Grealish will score. So is that one for you?
That's what I was going to say too.
Yeah, cool.
What else have we got here? Glenn has asked, what's the longest session we've had?
Are you talking drinking or Santo?
No. Drinking. Andy, what's your longest?
Longest drinking session?
Yeah.
I'd probably say a day and a half.
Day and a half?
Yeah, start early, mid-morning and then end in the early hours of the morning.
Right.
Yeah, pretty basic.
You know what's funny? This time every year I go on a trip with my three best mates to Melbourne.
Oh, yeah. You get the Hummer and also the limo.
It's from Thursday to Sunday, right? Yeah. And I messaged him today and I said, you know what's really funny is the whole state shut down at the exact same time we're supposed to go away. So it's like if we can't have a good time, then no one in South Australia can have a good time.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, so that's probably I'm not pretty hardcore with my drinking. Like I'll have a couple of beers and then I'll be asleep. So no longer than 24 hours, mate. What about you,
my stamina was pretty good back in the day. I used to start maybe 5 or 6 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon and go to play at the Grand and drink there for free, and then end up at Red Square and drink there for free. And then someone else was having a party on the Sunday, so I'd go there, and then I'd have to play at the Grand again Sunday night, and probably from Saturday afternoon till Monday morning. About that.
Jeepers.
Yeah. So,
that's the footy club stamina, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I've trained up to that.
Yeah,
it didn't just happen naturally.
Yeah.
So I was no good for about 5 days after, though.
Yeah,
it took me till Friday to recover.
Yeah, fair point. I'm on the front page of Onion magazine back in the day. After when the Fringe was on, we had and I was working at Fresh. At that point, I think I was like the operations manager or whatever. So just organise operations. Cool. So there was a bunch of us that worked there, and we'd go out every night and just get absolutely ruined at the Fringe because, you're a radio station, you get free entry to everything.
Party.
Happy days, party. And then one morning, PK from Rip It Up calls us and goes, "Hey guys, we want to put you on the front page of Onion magazine for the."
Is that Paul Kelly?
It's Paul Kelly, yeah. No,
Paul Curran with a K.
No, Paul Kitching. He's like a marketing genius of Adelaide, right?
Peter Kebab.
Yeah, Peter Coon.
Peter Kittle Toyota.
Peter Kittle.
is he Toyota or is he a different car?
No. You got Peter Kittle Toyota, got you into the Fringe.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
I just drove a Hilux straight through. Yeah, and what was the point of my talking?
I don't know, mate. You started and we fell asleep.
Yeah, all right. Got any questions on the Facebook there, mate?
Yeah, no, we've got one more bit of audio, and that is, so we were saying when we did our emergency podcast, if you're wondering why the video stream has gone, then
sorry.
You'll just need to listen to the audio, which is on Ozcast Network. If you just tuned in, Con and Lena, Brighton Trophy Centre, Mind and Movement Physio, thank you very much, Odd Sock Mob, Little Box Co, and Shifty Lizard. So what are you laughing at?
I don't know, just throwing in the Little Box Co every now and then. Happy days.
No, we might as well, mate.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. Yeah, boys.
So now we're kind of at the stage of where people are filling in over Christmas, but it used to be the mentality of not like, what good radio announcers are around that we can put on the air. It's almost like who's around?
Yeah, it was a joke, right? It was like, who's in Highmarsh Square that can walk in and do a shift and not know how to panel or speak on the radio?
Yeah, so it's like, that cleaner that comes in that wears the number 16 T-shirt every Thursday. Yeah. You spoken to him yet? No. So you don't know whether they can hold a conversation? No idea. Have they looked you in the eye at all? No. So when do you think they can start on the air? Do you reckon they could do a shift tomorrow? No. Okay, great. And the next day, it's like, hey, it's Sylvetta, the cleaner, and she's doing talkback. So this is one of these examples. I found this today. It's one of the weirdest announcers I've ever heard.
Up to 50% off all men's and women's Levi's. Up to 50% off RM Williams, Gazman and Glowweave. And up to 50% off great outdoor brands like the North Face, Icebreaker and Merrill. Trims, up to 50% off everything. Trims, City Emporium, Westfield, Marion and Marion Workwear.
Get interactive now.
Fax 8223 0022.
$13.95. Adelaide's 5AA.
You bet, it's Adelaide's very own 5AA.
Wow.
And we're going to talk with Robin now. Robin, I've got a guest in the studio. His name is Boris. Welcome to Adelaide. Where can I take you be doing? Robin, have you had that experience? I'm only joking about having a guest in here, just me.
I understand that.
Yes, you got it, did you, Robin?
Yes.
Have you had that experience where you've got in the car and he says, "Afternoon, good Boris I am, and where would you like to go in Sydney?"
Oh, my God.
What just happened there?
Let's play that again.
I've never heard so much racism in one break.
There's a bit of a trims out at the start.
Up to 50% off all men's and women's Levi's. Up to 50% off RM Williams, Gazman and Glowweave. And up to 50% off great outdoor brands like the North Face, Icebreaker and Merrill. Trims, up to 50% off everything. Trims, City Emporium, Westfield, Marion and Marion Workwear.
Get interactive now.
Fax 8223 0022.
$13.95. Adelaide's 5AA.
You bet, it's Adelaide's very own 5AA. And we're going to talk with Robin now. Robin, I've got a guest in the studio. His name is Boris. Welcome to Adelaide. Where can I take you be doing? Robin, have you had that experience? I'm only joking about having a guest in here, just me.
I understand that.
Yes, you got it, did you, Robin?
Yes.
Have you had that experience where you've got in the car and he says, "Afternoon, good Boris I am, and where would you like to go in Sydney?"
That sort of stuff.
Sorry. You got to get up pretty early to fuck with Robin, don't you?
Yeah, she knew I was up. That's the sort of stuff that you can actually lose your license, though. Like, he sounded hammered.
Yeah,
he was blind.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a tradition over the an understated and unofficial tradition of nighttime announcers for the past 50 years drinking red wine in the studio while on air. Like, there's been so many spillages of red wine into mixing desks. I don't know.
Well, there's so many DUIs as well of people driving back from the radio station and getting done.
Yeah,
it was like last year. One of the announcers got a DUI. Then the breakfast announcer had a crack at him on the air, and there was like this whole internal battle because they were fighting with each other because he was saying, "We can't stand for this," and he would literally go to the hotel next door and get blind before a shift.
Yeah, he literally bought a hotel room next door so he could stay in Adelaide when things got a bit too cray while he's on air.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Great guy, though.
Great guy. Great guy. Yeah. Great guy. I love. We're always backing up everything we say. Great guy, though. Awesome.
Yeah, great guy, allegedly. All that sort of stuff. Hey, here's a question. I'm guessing these bottles are a bit old, and I've just cracked one open while we're listening to an old drunk guy on air. And half the cork is still in there. I don't know if you can see that. What do I do in that instance? Do I just poke it through and just hope for the best?
All right,
or do
so
I try
guys,
to fish it out?
Challenge people, please write some comments. What should Andrew do with his cork right now? Because he will do it.
Yeah, he said cork, right?
I reckon, boys, we've only got about 10 minutes until we have to wrap this up because we're being on for an hour, which is brilliant. And you know what? We've had a consistent amount of people, whether it's 15 to 20, who cares? You're taking the time to watch this emergency podcast, and we appreciate it because we have fun doing this. And like we did with the last one, we don't plan anything. So let me ask quickly, because we did this in the last podcast and it's something that we are doing as a hashtag wisdom with Walshy. Maddie, something that you are grateful for, please.
The opportunity to have a think about my answers before the podcast would be good.
Great. All right. Andy, what are you grateful for?
Yeah, you know what? I'm grateful for you guys asking me to come onto this podcast in the first place many, many weeks ago because it actually made me want to do more podcasting rather than just try to manage things. So,
you know, it's funny. I'll tell you something funny. Like, I had a guy that asked me what are some good podcasts, and I said, well, have a listen to ours.
Yep.
But listen from this point, and it was the episode in which we added you. I said,
thanks,
don't
mate.
listen to the rest of them.
Thank you so much.
Listen from the 23rd of July when we added Andy.
Yeah.
This is funny because I'm just going to get another drink. Andy, John Retzer says push it through and decant it, and he's a professional in that regard. So that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah. The only.
Be right back. Good luck.
All right. See you guys. I guess we'll just sit here and wait.
Andy will talk.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a decanter here. Is there a manual way of doing that? Is it a slow pour into something else? So a lot of oxygen gets into it? I'm not too sure.
You're asking the wrong bloke, mate. I just
that's
crack
true.
a beer and drink.
I'll look to the right. Hey, John, JR, from. Did you mind letting me know?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, he's sitting down now. All right, cool. Put your headphones on, buddy. Come on, mate.
Yeah.
So decantering, we're just saying if I manually did it, because I don't have a decanter here or, anything fancy like that because I don't want to leave this room. Can I manually pour it slowly into another bottle or cup to decanter?
Yeah, but then how are you going to get the cork?
Well, you poke the cork in and then you try and pour it into another.
Yeah, he says pour it into whatever you have.
My mouth is probably a good thing.
There you go. Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time you've had a cork in your mouth. We never got the opportunity to do a radio show, Andy and I, Maddie, and you and I always spoke about doing it, Maddie, too. So It's funny because Andy, I filled in with a radio announcer years and years ago, and Andy came in just to do, like, it was so funny. People used to take advantage of the fact that Andy could do a really good impersonation of Cozzy, and that Andy could come and be the funny guy for a second. But Andy actually is fucking hilarious. And this is, again, what my wife says to me, like, the fact that we can do this together now is amazing because we're free. And I think Maddie and I have always had this, we're very similar, Maddie and I, in the way that we talk about sport. And I reckon there's a huge Triple M influence there of us listening to the way that they communicated years and years and years ago. But we've got the same sense of humour. But then adding you, Andy, has been amazing, man. Like, I love it. I look forward to doing this.
Thanks. So that was my answer to your question originally. Is that the go?
Glad that was reciprocated by Andy then. No, it's like when you say I love you to your girlfriend and she's like, I love spending time with you.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I tolerate you. Yeah.
No, for years I wanted to do a show with you. Like, I even did 2 weeks with Cozzy. You know, like, I did shifts with so many other people, and then it just never happened. But and the best thing is you don't have anyone breathing down your neck from upstairs, from sales, from management saying you've got to be this person because that's the person we want you to be for the advertising money and what we think the listener wants to hear.
Yeah, so it's not like hey, here's a situation. What side are you going to take? Because obviously you need to take the opposite side so we can have some conflict here. And like to have that freedom is actually really nice, and it feels more real.
And it's and one thing that I think I brought this up in podcasting before is that it actually for me, when I started listening to podcasts, by just listening to Jesus, that hit me pretty good.
Boris.
Yeah, g'day guys. Yeah. You ever get in a car and Boris is there and he's like, fuck, yeah, you down?
I've got a guess.
With the whole podcasting thing, because you can be yourself, you actually make a stronger connection with anyone that listens. So, like, when I listen to podcasts, I got sucked in straight to whatever they were talking about or even whatever they were selling. So their ads and stuff. Like I said, I use the Joe Rogan Experience as a perfect example because that's what I used to listen to on the way into work every day when I first started listening to podcasts. And I literally bought every Onnit product ever known to man.
I saw that.
You'd see me in fucking Onnit t-shirts and shit in all my old radio posts and stuff like that. And that was just through podcasting, having a good connection with someone that has no idea about me.
Yeah, what I've noticed as well is Maddie's looked down the whole time you've been speaking, so he's looking at his phone, just like he's in the studio.
I'm looking at questions, guys.
All right. Okay, so we've got about 5 more minutes. Throw any questions at us. But again, thank you for watching. Andy, can you actually, because you haven't done this on our podcast before, because this is a bit of an extended emergency one.
Yeah, boy.
Jesus. Tell us about some of the different podcasts on Ozcast Network for people who are interested.
Yeah, so we've got 66 podcasts now, and I think about 68 will be live in the next couple of weeks. 11 different channels, so there's channels for everyone from your true crime to sports to comedy to a lot of random stuff as well, like tendinopathy, which is like a doctor who does a podcast about tendons. That'll be good for Steve the Pirate to listen to, and anyone in that sort of field. But there is so many different podcasts. We've actually started, writing articles about each episode that comes out now to give you a bit more information to what we're actually producing. So if you just head to ozcastnetwork.com anytime, anywhere, and check out the front page there, you'll see a whole lot of stuff. And the thing is, like, people are on these podcasts that you may not know, but are absolute legends and champions in the fields of their sort of field. So they could be sports journos, they could be doctors, they could be
Garvey.
Just listen to Greats with the Garvey.
And laces up with Jake Barkaday.
I have agreements with all those guys, so that's why you see a lot of it from me.
Are they sponsored by Little Box Co?
Not yet. No, they're sponsored by Studio Creations. That's who do their production. So, which is also me. But yeah, there is a shit ton of content. We've worked it out. It's about an average about 16 hours of original content being pumped out of Ozcast each week, and obviously, no one could ever really listen to everything that comes out because we've been going for 5-6 years now. So there's so many episodes on there. There's like thousands and thousands. So just get on there, check it out. There's definitely something there for everyone.
One of the guys who's watching now, Johnny Retsis.
Yeah.
I can't speak highly enough of him, and I'm involved in the podcast that he does called The Maker and the Drinker. But I love doing it because if you like wine, and if you haven't tried First Drop Wine before, it's incredible. But the one we did the other day and we spoke to Ernesto, who is the manager and one of the co-owners of Borster, and to talk about coconuts. And it's actually a really fascinating chat about the coconut oil that he produces. We've got George from George's on Weymouth coming up, and we're speaking to Brad Ebert from Hey Diddle Wines in the next couple of weeks too. So it is quite enjoyable. Matty, over to you in the Fanta hat.
Is that the same Brad Ebert that played for Port Adelaide and West Coast?
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, he's got a wine business called Hey Diddle. Josh wants to know how many side businesses you've got, Andy.
Yeah, good question. I need to ask the accountant to see what's going on there. So a couple of ABNs. But when you're looking at businesses, we're looking at 3 different businesses, but there's about with Ozcast, it's about 5 brands under that. So you've got Ozcast Network, the distributor network. Then you've got Podvertise, which is the advertising arm. Then you've got Pod Launcher, which is the production and anything to do with a podcast, to be like how to make a podcast. That's Pod Launcher. Then you got Pod Music, which is still going through some agreements at the moment with distributors for music. So
I think Josh was taking the piss out of you.
Okay, all right. There's a shit ton there. All right, there's a shit ton, and
it's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, it really is. You guys want to get into it now? We'll do another one.
What we forgot to do was get an update on our charting before we wrap up. Give us an update on where we are, because we don't expect to go anywhere high on our charts. Do a bit of fun. So what is it, mate?
Well, the big news of the week is we've actually gone up 100. What's that, mate? What was that? Are you that meme, that big meme guy with a huge phallus that people always sound like? That sounds like something he'd do. What's his name?
Dead.
Yeah, I know.
Barry.
Barry. What, do you have a last name?
I mean, apparently.
The big news of the week is that in the Australian basketball charts, welcome to the team, Fanta. In the Australian basketball charts, we're currently sitting at number 76, which means this week we've gone up 141 spots. But the good news is all around the world for Reach, so globally for all podcasts, and there are hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, right? We are currently sitting at 7,751, so that's super tight. In the US, 7,382 for all podcasts in the US, and that's the biggest market of podcasts because that's where it sort of all came from.
I think we've got 2 listeners in the US, which is awesome.
Well, not anymore, because as of yesterday, we're now on Pandora. So, which is massive. It's taken 6 months to actually get on there. But finally they sent through the approval yesterday, which is fantastic. So,
that's awesome. What's Pandora?
Pandora is one of the biggest audio platforms in the US, if not the world. They own a lot of the other platforms that you would recognize and probably have on your phone as well, and podcast apps and stuff. So that's a massive thing for us. India, we're sitting at, for all podcasts, for reach, okay? That means for the amount of people that we reach, 1,867. We're in the chart over there. So we've had a massive week, and probably all down to this emergency podcast, to be honest. So there you go.
Massive week.
Yeah.
Hey, very true. Matty, you've had time to think about it. What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for the country and the state that we live in, and how we have handled this, because you look at the US and you look at
Matty's pissed, by the way.
You're more glazed than a fucking donut.
I'm blind.
I'm grateful for Come Dry.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm grateful for walls and a roof and such.
I'm going.
I'm grateful for the Silverline cream that's just behind me because I'm going to get the weather wrong and go blind.
Hey, Matty, what's going on with Red Square and stuff? When are you guys able to dance again? Side note.
No idea about dancing.
Yeah.
I'm not open tonight. Opening tomorrow night.
Yep.
For a little bit of a Sunday night session.
Yep.
And I think that the dancing and the standing will be put back a few weeks. Fuck off. So I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
You've actually turned from being so sober to like bang on. Tell me that dancing, but you can't. You can dance, but you can't stand and dance. Drink Res Blue Square.
And something we haven't spoken about, which I just want to help promote, is Fresh Till Death. Because you guys haven't really spoken about that too much. What's the next?
No,
what's next for Fresh Till Death? Because you did the music for the opener for Best Team Men, so you need more credit than what you're getting.
I'm in the process of actually wrapping that up and just becoming normal on the weekends. But anyway.
So it's going to be fresh.
Okay, yep, good. Cheers.
All right, guys. Yeah, sweet as. I guess we'll just throw to Con and wrap this thing up, shall we? This little puppy over here.
Go, Con.
Yeah, Con. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah.
We love you.
We'll see you next time.
Have a drink. Enjoy it on behalf of the Best Team Men. Peace out. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
Brought to you by the Brighton Trophy Centre. Cups, trophy, badges, medals. Yeah, we do it better. Best Team Men. BTC, BTM, BTS. Yeah. Best Team Men. Oh, yeah. Sweet.
Oscar.